speaking into this mic, or can you guys hear me okay? All these mics are ready to go. Everyone set? Okay, thank you all for being here. Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Jose Garza, and I'm the Travis County District Attorney. I appreciate you being here. Today, Judge Clifford Brown, the presiding district judge of the Travis County Criminal District Courts, imposed a sentence of 25 years on the defendant in this case, Mr. Daniel Perry. I'd like to start by thanking the career prosecutors and our entire team of dedicated professionals who work to pursue justice in this case. They have served our community well, and we are incredibly grateful. I also want to thank the members of our community who served as jurors in this case. They carefully considered the evidence and the law and deliberated for over 15 hours. Their time and their service mattered. But most of all, I hope that the outcome of today's sentencing brings some sense of justice for the Foster family and for Whitney and her family. I know that they have waited for so long. At this time, I would like to invite Garrett's mom up to make a few remarks. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. I just want to applaud verbally, publicly, the office of the Travis County District Attorney, the prosecutors, the victim services counselor. They have all been such a huge source of hope and support for our family for the past 3 years. So I just would like to do that. I would like to say to anyone who is watching the media and seeing the media talk about cases before all the facts have come out, to please do your own research. Please don't base your opinions based on a 3-minute video clip and lash out hatefully at the family of the victim. That is the worst thing that we've ever had to experience, and it has been the thing that has given us the most grief and heartache through this whole thing. Is we're seeing the lack of humanity in this society, where people can reach out to a grieving family and make fun of their deceased loved one. I just don't know how we got here as a society, and I would beg you to, instead of just listening to other people, do your own research. Just for the good of humanity, and to do what's right and honest with dignity. And thank you all. Thank you all for your support through all of this. We appreciate it.
I'd like to invite Garrett's sister up to make a few remarks as well.
Hi, my name is Anna Mayo. During this trial, our family has been lashed out at, but something that has been lost in the media was that my brother was a veteran. He served in the Air Force, and Daniel Perry was in the military, and he took an oath to serve this country. My brother took that same oath, and the same oath that my dad took, and both of my grandfathers, countless uncles, and both of my great-grandfathers took when they served our country. My father served in the Air Force in 1987, and then he re-enlisted in 1991. He currently works as a private military contractor for the Department of Defense. And my uncle has served in the Army, just like Daniel Perry, since 1987, and is currently a private contractor for the Army. Most of his time was spent in the NCOIC. When there's respect to a veteran, my family will be the first to give it. So to hear so many people blatantly disregard that Garrett was a veteran and tear his character apart, like my mom said, has been the hardest part of this. But I truly hope that everyone has taken everything that they've seen throughout the process of this trial, and I hope that they see my brother for more than what Daniel Perry and his team has described him as, because Garrett was great, and if you look into his life, you will see that for yourself. I want to thank the Travis County District Attorney's Office and Travis County District Court, and I would like to thank Judge Brown for not allowing politics into his courtroom, because none of that mattered. It was Garrett Foster. His life mattered. And I'm glad that a lot of people, all of the people on the jury, agreed with that. So, yeah, that would be it for me. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to invite Tricia, Whitney's mom, up to make a few remarks as well.
Thank you. I'm Patricia Kirvin. I'm Whitney's mom, and I have stood by for almost 3 years watching her suffer and the Foster family suffer. And I am very appreciative to the Travis County jury for their service, to the DA's office, and to the Judge Brown, and for his elegant words this morning. It hits home. I just want to say that 25 years is great, but it does not bring Garrett back. Garrett was loved by everyone. His love for Whitney is something I've never seen before, and she's broken, but I'm hoping tomorrow will be the first day of the rest of her life that she can start over again. Thank you.
I'm so grateful to the Foster family and to Whitney and her family. Throughout the entirety of this process, they have been Garrett's voice, and we would not be here without them. Today's sentencing marks the end of the trial phase of this case. As you know, last week Judge Brown heard a motion for a new trial by the defendant, and he denied that motion. In a normal case, the defendant would likely pursue his right to an appeal. The appellate process is not perfect, but it offers a criminal defendant multiple opportunities to test the integrity of a prosecution. In this case, the defendant maintains those rights. But as you know, this is not a normal case. It is not a normal case because in early April, the Texas governor made the decision to insert politics into this case and requested that the Board of Pardons and Paroles review this case less than 24 hours after the jury issued their guilty verdict. That, of course, is the governor's right. But since that announcement, the Travis County District Attorney's Office has been in contact with the Board of Pardons and Paroles, and as a result, the board has committed to our office that we will be allowed to make a presentation, and they have committed to hear from the family of the victim in this case. Over the course of the next several weeks, I will work with the board to find a time when our office can make that presentation. And I just want to note that for the entire history of the board has been a careful steward of the power of clemency in our state, and the Travis County District Attorney's Office looks forward to ensuring that they have access to all of the relevant facts and information in this case. We talked a little bit about our appellate process. Likewise, our criminal justice system is not perfect. But in this case, it worked exactly as it should. And the Travis County District Attorney's Office is not done fighting for Garrett and for the integrity of that process here in Travis County. I'd be happy to take a few questions, and then we'll be seeing you a little bit later this afternoon.
The defense has argued that politics were first inserted in this when your office chose to prosecute. What is your response to that?
This case was thoughtfully considered by a Travis County grand jury made up of members of our community, our neighbors, our friends. They carefully considered the evidence and rendered their judgment that there was probable cause to believe that a crime had been committed. Every allegation made by the defendant in this case has been thoroughly considered and rejected by a Travis County judge. And I would just like to echo the sentiments of the family. I would like to applaud Judge Brown. I think he did a fantastic job keeping politics out of his courtroom. And at the end of the day, the defendant in this case went through a process and an outcome that was rooted in the facts and the law as it should be.
What are going to be the main points you're going to make in your presentation to the Board of Pardons and Parole?
Well, obviously there was an extensive trial record in this case. There was an extensive pretrial record, and there has been a relatively extensive post-trial record. All of the decisions made in this case by judge and jury were made deliberately after considering the facts and the evidence. We think it's important that the Board of Pardons and Paroles be aware of and have access to all of that information.
Have you been in communication at all with the governor's office?
I have not. Okay, one more, and then I think we're wrapping up for this morning.
Any comments from
The defense said that the release of the information, the social media information, called that character assassination. And there, when they spoke to the media immediately after the sentencing, and said that, insinuated that there was something similar to be said about Garrett Foster's social media, and that I think that you had stopped them from revealing that. Is that true? What is the state of this? Why did we see that after the trial?
In this case, the judge presiding over this case made the determination to unseal that information. In any court proceeding, both attorneys are required to give notice to the judge and to opposing counsel about any facts and evidence that may be relevant but may be too prejudicial for a jury to consider. Out of an abundance of caution and respect for our criminal justice system and for the defendant's rights, the state gave that notice under seal so that it would be shielded from public consumption, and so the jury could not consider it. Once the jury made their determination that the defendant in this case was guilty of murder, that information became relevant to the sentencing portion of this proceeding, and for that reason the judge made the determination to unseal it. Again, I think the judge did an excellent job of keeping politics out of the courtroom, and every decision made by judge and jury was made on the basis of the facts and the law in this case. Thank you guys for being here.
I'd like to ask if any of the family members have any comment on the governor's interjection in this case at this point.
I think we're appreciate your time, and we'll be speaking further as these proceedings continue. So thank you guys so much for being here.
If you want to have a seat right here, I'll make sure.
What's this afternoon?
What's happening is after
Probably shorthand on my part for see you later.
you are.
Yeah, quick. What?
So this afternoon. That's what I'll start using.
So
But actually, it's for me. You never know. So,
You want to get that same mic guy?
you never know. Well, that was for, she decided to talk.
I don't really know.
Hey. Look at that Jimmy.